Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new episode of Eve Echoes. Today's episode will be the first of a series focused on PvP, player versus player. In these episodes I will be teaching you what PvP means, what to expect from it, and how to be decent, good at it, because like everything else, experience and practice play a very important role, sort of like muscle memory. Hence, today we will cover the basics and the first form of PvP that you'll probably engage in, which is solo PvP. Now, the information in this video is filtered through my experiences and understandings of the concept. I'm always looking to improve, so if you have suggestions, improvements, or other ideas, I'm always up for a discussion or a debate, so please feel free to talk to me via the comment section. Also, due to the fact that the game servers are offline until launch, we will be covering our topics using graphic representations such as dots, squares, triangles, circles, and lines. Before we dive right into our subject, please remember to hit the like button if you thought this video was useful, and be sure to subscribe if you enjoy what I'm doing here on the channel, and by clicking the bell you'll get notifications for any future videos that I upload. Also, if you wish to support my work and keep this channel alive, we have a channel membership set up here right here on YouTube. For a very small monthly donation you'll get some interesting perks and benefits. All you need to do is click the join button or the link below in the description, and you can choose one of 3 donation categories. Every penny counts, and for that I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So, PvP is any type of combat between 2 or more players. PvP is usually asymmetrical, but does not always mean that the guys with the bigger guns win. Of course, ship fitting plays a very big role, but field tactics are also very important nonetheless. Good fit but no tactic makes Johnny a dead frozen corpse in someone's cargo hold most likely. One of the most important guidelines is know your enemy, and it works in tandem with pick your fights. These apply to any form of warfare, be it solo, small gang, or big fleet. What's solo PvP? Well, it strictly refers to 1v1. Again, it is very important to know how to pick your fight. Don't try to take on something that can clearly mop the floor with you. I mean, in Eve, that's like throwing money out the window in space and die from decompression. No, seriously, don't open your fucking windows in space. What the fuck is wrong with you? Pre-fight assessment can be done easily by comparing ship types, what guns your opponent might have. Questions like, can I tank his DPS? Can I out DPS him and win the engagement before he does? What kind of tank does he have? Given there's no ammo yet, can my damage on specific resists break his tank, or will I just be happy I took down his shields and all I'm doing is EM damage and I'm going to have a hard time with his armor and he's just gonna blot me out of the skies because he's armor tanked? Duh. Can I keep him in my optimals while being outside of his optimals? Good question. Well, all of these can only be answered by studying the various weapons, ranges, DPS stats, and ships in the game. And you'll have to do these calculations in basically just a few seconds. So yeah, experience is important. Don't get discouraged or disappointed after your first 10 or 20 engagements being lost. It's the only way you'll learn the how-tos. Remember, it's always important to understand why you lost. Don't shrug it off or you'll learn nothing from your mistakes. Let's talk about commitment. Well, committing to an engagement, you should do that only when you are ready and feel that you're fighting on your terms. If the commitment is involuntary, you're the one being attacked, try to gain control of the fight. But if this happens, it means you didn't pay attention to your environment and you allowed someone to surprise you. Another unwritten rule of PvP, never be surprised by anyone. Example, if there's someone sitting idly on a null gate and you want to blast him, be mindful that it can be bait. All tank, keep you pointed and neutered until the fleet jumps from the other side and just waste you and collect your corpse. Also, commitment means don't think about how you can escape. For example, Frick Destroyer fights are pretty quick. You commit, you go for it, and you focus on removing your opponent from the board. Remove that "how can I escape" from the back of your head, because it will just mess you up. Instead of paying attention to how to maximize your damage, you'll just have 70% of your brain working on how can I evade this guy if I didn't plan correctly. And you'll be trying to do all sorts of stupid stuff, like kite him when you're actually a brawling fit, and lose like 80% of your DPS because you're just playing it safe. Focus on the task at hand. Remove your opponent from the board. Just like chess, baby. Just like chess. So, tactics. Well, this is an interesting topic, and I've got for you some basic rules. Again, please feel free to comment in the comment section if you have something to fill in, maybe some gaps, or maybe some more improvements, or maybe I'm playing wrong on some aspects and you want to point me towards the right direction. But given the fact that I have a decent experience of over 15 years in EVE Online, I think these rules are pretty standard and they're actually pretty good. So, rule number 1, keep your opponent at your optimals to inflict maximum damage at all times. That's pretty obvious. If you don't inflict maximum damage, you're losing time, you're losing damage, and you're only prolonging the inevitable, which means you losing your ship, and your pod probably. Rule number 2, always remember to activate your shit. If you just orbit him and you're happy about it because, yay, I achieved optimal orbit. Gee, you forgot to activate guns or tank. Congrats, you just lost valuable time again and you're gonna lose your ship. Rule number 3, EVE fights can be asymmetrical. This means that you can kill stuff bigger than yourself by getting under your opponent's guns and tracking or just speed tanking missiles that are too big and too slow against your ship type. When you approach versus turret boats, remember to maintain transversal speed. That translates into approach at an angle manually, not directly. If you just come face forward, you're just gonna get one-shotted by the bigger guns. Rule number 4, never fly what you cannot afford. Always PvP in something affordable and in something that maximizes your skill output. Benefit from that and be able to cope with the losses. Otherwise, PvP is going to seem like a ripoff and a giant hole in your wallet. Rule number 5, calm as a bitch. If you win the fight, just collect the loot or corpse or whatever floats your boat. Don't stand around like a jackass thinking you're gonna be king of the hill and you can take anyone. You know, the guy that you just killed might come back in something specifically anti your ship, and it's not going to be pretty. Rule number 6, if no one can break tank, and it's sort of like a stalemate, and it takes like forever, try to discontinue the fight. See how you can get loose, because he's probably calling for reinforcements. Manual flight is key here. Try to lose your opponent's web disrupt grip on you by exiting his ranges. Approach him to mess up his orbit, then swing right back in the other direction and warp out before he realizes he has lost point on you. Rule number 7. If auto-orbiting fails to keep you in your optimal or messes up your tracking, use manual flying. It's a bit trickier, but you can get that zero angular velocity versus your opponent to inflict maximum damage and maximum tracking with your guns. Of course, this does not apply to missiles. Rule number 8. If you can figure out your opponent's fit and know he hits like at 3 kilometers and you hit like at 4 kilometers, you can trade off some of your DPS and keep your opponent in fall-off optimal range to fully avoid his. This allows you to control the fight and ultimately win, no sweat. So, I hope you enjoyed it. That's pretty much it on my side. These are basically the things that I think everyone should follow when doing solo PvP. Again, everything is open for debate, so if you find flaws in my logic or other unwritten rules I may have forgotten, please point them out in the comment section and I'd be happy to listen. Thank you guys for watching. A very big shout out to my channel supporters, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.